Absolutely my privilege and my pleasure to say happy last Sunday of March already, beautiful people. I am Rev Vicky Jeter, your minister for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter. We welcome you here on this Sunday, March 30th of 2025. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges. We welcome your questions. All pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of our lives and parts of ourselves are essential to a world that works for all. So we invite all of it to show up. So whether you're here with us for the first time today or if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for being with us today because you are why we are here. There is only love, and love leads the way. And so today is another important opportunity for us to gather together and learn more about the power of spiritual communion and being together in community, in prayer and meditation, and learning and growing so that we can create that atmosphere that allows for the world that works for all. And so we begin by setting our personal intentions. Take a moment, check in and see for you what brought you to be with us today. Take that pausing breath. Imagine clearing the whiteboard within to make room. And as you exhale, release everything and come down to that place of relative stillness and relative emptiness to begin again. And our shared collective intention today is to bloom where we are planted and blossom together. If that has you wondering what in the world that's about, hang in there and wait and see. We take these intentions into opening prayer. As I recognize one life, one love, one infinite, universal, divine law that emerges as and supports and sustains everything. Spirit is omnipresence, omniscience, omnipotence at every point, in every way, through every being, mind, heart, and soul. In that I am, and in that each person within the sound of my voice is together. And from this alignment, I realize that this opportunity is love fulfilled in spirit. Spirit gives us infinite flow of the good coming into our lives, and we return to spirit the courage to have this experience of being a spiritual being in human form that feels so separate, that feels so challenging and so unique. And that is our gift to God as we receive. And so today is all about lifting each other up in that holy communion and knowing that we are learning more about how to love as God loves. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Presence of Life, for all of this and more. I release it, I let it be, and so it is. Pardon me. Oh my goodness, that was a big inhale. This takes us into our opening song, Get Ready, My Soul.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
And we float right into our mission and vision. The mission of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God, which manifests our vision of a world that honors and respects all people. Now, each week we offer what we believe in order for you to be able to have options for grounding this in your lives every week, because we realize that unless it's actually changing your life, it's lip service. And so, as some of you know, we have been doing Ernest Holmes' Declaration of Principles, and we got through the entire Declaration of Principles last week. And so now this is Center for Spiritual Living Global Vision, and they're a series of statements just like the Declaration of Principles. And this global vision was crafted by our global spiritual leader before Sonny Cantrell, and his name is Dr. Edward Billon. And the first global vision is, We envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. And our application of what we believe that is more dovetailed to the topic today, for there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. And that is a quote from Miss Amanda Gorman, who is, I believe, one of the youngest poet laureates the nation has ever had. And now it is my privilege and my pleasure to turn this over to our practitioner of the week, Miss Tammy Evans.
Good morning. Welcome to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. It's my pleasure to be doing this morning's reading and meditation. A reading from the Science Mind magazine. Holmes frequently referred to one of the activities of the infinite mind as the law of cause and effect. Many phrases help describe this. As we turn to God, God turns to us. What goes around comes around. As a man thinketh, so is he, to name a few. As well as the vast creativity of the mind of God, there is an element of it that automatically responds in kind to the nature of our thoughts, hence the law of mind. What does this mean? Essentially, it means that the ways in which we think will return to us as some form or condition in our lives. In other words, our lives will be about what we expect them to be. Are we thoughtful, optimistic, ready to participate? If so, we will generally find these positive outcomes reflected in our days. On the other hand, if we are critical, negative, and down on ourselves and others, our days will generally reveal gloomy, unsatisfying situations. Obviously, it becomes important to be attentive to the working of our minds so that we will consciously engage the mind of God in the most uplifting, creative responses. Daily, we can scan our thinking patterns to make sure that they work for our good. To live happy, productive lives that are under our control, it is definitely worth the effort. Now, as we take this into meditation, relax, get centered, and allow my words to become yours. Begin with a big, deep, refreshing breath. Relaxing, letting your body settle. Find the natural, easy rhythm of your breathing and stay with it. Following it in and out of your nose. Let the movement ease you in this moment. Breathing in calm. Breathing out thoughts. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. There is always risk in growing. We're dedicated to achieving our fullest potential. It can come with a price. losing friends along the way, judgment from others, losing what we've become accustomed to, the fear of these potential risks can be crippling. It keeps us from blossoming. What perceived risks might be getting in the way of your full bloom? What fears? Limiting beliefs, stories. My love, you are meant to blossom in a way that no one else in the universe can. With a splash of color so bright it illuminates the world. So breathe in deeply. Say goodbye to your tight little flower bud. The risks to stay small are far too great. So breathe in your greatness and feel your petals open. Namaste.
Namaste. Oh my goodness. Truly, truly, truly. Let us just take a unified breath together to receive the beauty of that meditation. There are so many lovely, lovely synchronicities in that. I thank you, Tammy, for being inspired and bringing your gift. And as we release once again to begin again, shifting now into today's topic, absolutely. This is the last week for the theme in March, which is the flowing of coming and going. And the official title for the talk today is Blossoming in the Swaying. And of course, we have taken it to the courage to bloom where we are planted. And I want to just do a little introduction here before we do our first related song. Give me just 1 second. I'm making a little adjustment. In keeping with the monthly theme and being amidst all of the changes that continue to keep going on, I keep thinking, my guess is we all kind of keep thinking at some point everything's going to settle down a little bit, but it doesn't seem to. So we keep navigating this swaying, as the original person that wrote this was thinking, how do we blossom amidst the continuous swaying, the continuous blowing in the wind? And so we're going to start with a piece of special music that truly supports us in such a beautiful way. It is called Glorious by the One Voice Children's Choir.
There are times when you might feel aimless. You can't see the places where you belong.
But you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along.
When you're near it, you can almost hear it.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies. Each one of us. Oh, it's glorious.
You will know how to let it ring out as you discover who you are.
Others around you start to wake up to the sounds that are in their hearts.
It's so amazing what we're all creating.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies. Each one of us. Oh, it's glorious. Glorious, glorious, glorious. That you feel, cannot spill. You will see.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part.
Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies. Each one of us. Oh, it's glorious.
I so love the One Voice Children's Choir. Do you guys ever notice, like in that song, particularly the conductor, as he's, encouraging him to go higher and higher, he comes up off on his feet, he's standing on his tiptoes, raising him up. It's just a beautiful thing. The invitation that they're offering us at the center of that song is to bloom where we are planted. How do we live from joy? How do we truly know and trust that we are in our perfect right place and thrive in our daily lives when conditions around us continue to appear and feel, and in some cases rather doubtlessly indicate to us that we're just it doesn't feel right, something feels off. I believe that as spirits in this spiritual classroom, that this is one of the things we're being called to learn, is that because we know it's actually generated from the inside out, whatever we're seeing that does not seem to resonate with us doesn't have to flap our joy. It doesn't have to cause us to say, oh, I have to wait. I can't be happy today. If this over here were good, then I'd be good and I could be happy, and et cetera, et cetera. You know how we do. And I'm saying, I really believe now that we are called to learn how to be that joy from within, and thusly allow that to begin directing the conditions of our lives. And so we're going to dip into a scenario that supports our ability to thrive with joy, regardless of the details. And we're also going to take a brief dive into the relationship between spirituality and science that reveals how it is we can live our best lives regardless of ever-changing conditions around us in the world. So now I want to invite you to momentarily drop a little bit back into that meditative space. This isn't actually a meditation, but I want to invite you to imagine with me for a moment that if you were able to feel and know how you would think and approach each day about your life, if you absolutely knew with assurance every day, beyond doubt, that you are held, supported, sustained by the source of love that created you, that will never leave you and never end. I mean, really, take a moment to think about that. If you could wake up every day and we didn't have this veil that drops when we come into human form, if the veil could be lifted and you could be here on this planet absolutely knowing that that which created you is holding you, loving you, supporting you, sustaining you, and the bottom is not going to drop out, what would you have to be concerned about? Would there be anything that could hold you back long term from being and doing exactly what you're inspired to do? So go ahead and play for me the next video, Vernon. This is titled, not surprisingly, I'll Bloom Where I'm Planted.
I am here in this place for a reason, I know, on a path that will help me to learn and to grow, for I know it's all part of God's plan for me, so I'll strive to become all He wants me to be. I will bloom where I'm planted, I'll serve where I can, I will make the world better wherever I am. I will reach my potential and follow my dreams. I will bloom where I'm planted and be the best I can be. I will choose to be happy no matter what comes. I will look for the good when each day has begun. I will choose to look up when the world looks down. I will choose to be grateful for all that surrounds me. I will bloom where I'm planted, I'll serve where I can. I will make the world better wherever I am. I will reach my potential and follow my dreams. I will bloom where I'm planted and be the best I can be.
Done in such a lovely, lovely, lovely way. So many of those images, I keep thinking, which one is actually the quintessential coming up through the wooden walkway or coming up through the rocks, and realizing that's what nature does. Nature takes life and brings it forth wherever it will. So now, as you're letting that sink into where it lands for you in your landscape, all of the information that follows here shines a light on the dynamic relationship between science and spirituality. And it's credited to my colleague and friend, practitioner David LeMaster out of Creative Life Center in Texas. Today, he actually lives in Boise, Idaho. He's a distance practitioner for Creative Life now, which I just recently learned yesterday. And he has a background in biology and physics, and he's a long-standing practitioner. So he's living both science and spirituality. And it just so happened this week, I was looking into the Creative Life newsletter, which is loaded, and I just happened, there was one little square called Philosophical Fridays, and I saw David's name, and I thought, I wonder what this is, and there was a resource there, and it was 10 articles on the relationship between science and spirituality from a science of mind perspective, and I was like, yes! This answers more deeply why Dr. Ernest Holmes called what he knew about spirit and how it emerges in creation, why he called it the science of mind. So Dr. David says, this is David LeMaster now, this is what he wrote. Ernest Holmes proposed that there was a universal law of mind, and that this law operated like all natural laws, regardless of our belief or understanding of how it works. Around the same time he began teaching about this law, particle physicists stumbled upon what is called the observer effect, with their experience using beams of light and electrons. In some unknown way, they discovered that awareness, consciousness of the people doing the experiments was changing the outcome of the experiments. Curiously, synchronistically, this was just what Ernest Holmes was teaching, how consciousness, universal mind, was connected with and inseparable from physical reality. This discovery in physics was so divergent from the dominant materialistic view of science, it was mostly ignored for 100 years. Only recently, within recent decades, has science begun to seriously entertain the idea that consciousness plays a significant role in the fabric of reality. Okay, so there's that. Now, he moved into talking about our freedom through our individual use of mind. The path of freedom through the use of these laws lies within the domain of each individual, and not as outlined or ordained by some outer authority. Like natural law, it is not necessary to know how the law works. But when we do grow in awareness and understanding of how it works, then we can work with it for specific purposes. And this is why in Science of Mind, we talk about being co-creators, because we're working with something that's actually so much greater than ourselves. But in that omniscient intelligence, it knows we're working with it, and the more we work with it, the more then can actually come about. This is experimentation, just as in science. It is no different than developing an understanding of the laws of electricity and then seeing how you can apply that knowledge in creating power and light or the perfect waffle iron. Ernest Holmes' teaching consistently encouraged us to engage spirit and universal law as an experimental adventure. How many times have we read and heard people say, don't believe this because I said it, and I'm certainly on that bandwagon. And I learned this actually from Reverend Jesse at Creative Life when I was there. He would say all the time, don't believe this because you trust in me. Take it out in your own life and see how it works. But, and this is back to David again, but for most of us, as entrenched as our beliefs have been that conditions around us have to be just right in order for us to succeed, it is important to get a glimpse of how we can possibly bloom where we're planted no matter what. And this takes us into the myths from our childhood. Our doors of perception are flung open wide when we're children. Like hungry baby birds, we follow our caregivers around, begging for facts. Are we there yet? What is that? Why? Why? Are we there yet? We're begging for facts about this amazing world in which we find ourselves when we're little. Indeed, we and other intelligent creatures, intelligent beings, are actually hardwired by nature genetically for doing this. This is a part of growth and evolution. Evolutionarily, our individual survival into adulthood is totally contingent upon how quickly we're learning as much as possible from our caregivers and elders around us. My point here is emphasizing the tendency of our early perceived truths about reality to remain totally unquestioned. We are basically required to just take it on and embody it. How many of you were fed beliefs of fear and outright lies? Unintentionally, but that's where some of our caregivers and certainly our society at large has started from. And so it can be disturbingly difficult to even recognize, let alone release and change these preconceived notions. And here's where the transformative power of the scientific method can play such an important role. For example, there could be experiments easily set up testing some of those beliefs that we were expected to accept without question when we were kids. Science has the ability for exposing our erroneous beliefs in order to raise our awareness about what then becomes was a superstition. We just didn't know it. And actually, if I was to give him some feedback here, I would have asked him to put a specific example, which he did not do. But I was thinking about this for myself. This is certainly goes back to that idea. Honest to God, I think there are still some people today that believe that the world is actually flat. And it took science to dislodge that one. And there's all kinds of things about what it means to be a woman or what it means to be a man, and all these kinds of things that we've actually taken on that science has certainly helped to debunk. Now, around the same time that Ernest Holmes was putting forth his powerful philosophical synthesis, physicists discovered what is called quantum weirdness. And honest to God, that's the best name they could come up with. It is quantum weirdness. I looked it up. The results of their experiments were baffling and remain so for, again, about the past 100 years. Using the accepted model of science up to that time, it was simply impossible to explain the effects of consciousness that they were discovering. Conscious awareness changes things and directs things. Only a few of these scientists realized that this quality of mind had to be foundational within every fabric of the universe. Even so, the entrenched paradigm of what is called scientific materialism, which is to say that it's the stuff out there and not what we're thinking and feeling, that is all what is made real. It's been refused to be acknowledged by most scientists. So when Dr. Holmes used the term science, he was emphasizing how this philosophy was not based on blind faith. It was based on his actual experience and experiences that could be replicated, and that's why he called it a science. And so he proclaimed that the personal validation of these spiritual principles could be accomplished by anyone, you and me and everyone, who is able to adjust the use of it in the shared field of consciousness. That's race consciousness. And that's why we talk about as a community. When we come together, we're learning about the power of shared prayer. And I'm telling you guys as often as I can that what you take in and then what you put back out is developing a field of potential around you. And that's what allows for that bridge from pure spirit into what you're able to accept for yourself. Is what we're cultivating, this field of the use of mind. And it's cumulative on an actual quantum field level. And so with all of this and more in mind, releasing the long-held beliefs about the nature of reality can be difficult, especially those that stretch back generations, such as the belief that the world was flat. And giving up these uncomfortable or these comfort zone beliefs, that's easy to say backwards, the other way around. Even though they're really beliefs that don't work for us, they're our comfort zone. and we get afraid of moving out of our comfort zone. So it takes a lot of spunky courage and unrelenting hunger for the actual truth to be revealed. And then we learn, okay, this is what's actually going on. So now how do we adjust to that? How do we dance with it? And this then brings about actual changes in our experience. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, how sometimes we're concerned about changing our actual beliefs about life, because if the people that have been closest to us don't also come along, then sometimes those relationships can change, and that gets really interesting, you know. When we do find and exercise that courage, we begin to discover and experience what Ernest Holmes did, that conditions do not determine the quality of our lives. We determine the quality of our conditions. And it does work together, you guys. Okay, so in human terms, absolutely, what we take in and then we put back out, that's happening both in essence and in form. And spirit is receiving that and like reflecting back. It really is like a dance. And in quantum physics, it's called a tangled hierarchy. And it really cannot be all separated out. And that's what we were learning about when we did the ripples, then the ripple effect. And my doctor friend was saying, you know, with the waves, and the waves come together and either cancel each other out or magnify them, it cannot be distinctly separated out in energetic terms in the way that it can when it's in form. So the science of mind is a spiritual way of life founded in the application of natural and scientific principle. Either of these assertions, whether it be what is known of spirit that moves to the forms called religion, or the assertions of science, can be taken too far. And in science, that becomes what's called scientific materialism. And that's what he's talking about. So many scientists become entrenched, and doctors become entrenched too, in thinking that, you know, this is the way, and whatever it is we see physically. And Bruce Lipton talked about that too, when he said, remember, if you're trying to heal somebody and you just work with the body, that's not going to get it. You have to work both the essence of the being and the body. And so science can be taken too far that way. And we know spirituality can also be taken in the wrong direction too, if it becomes religiosity. Those things that we all know, if you were entrenched in a religious practice that did not have enough breathing room to actually work with the unseen, if you went by dogma and were required to do these things, it comes away, you feel wounded. And this is how it all happens, but it doesn't have to. And so now, just one very quick story I want to share with you, because I just found out about this yesterday too, and this is kind of a synchronicity. I was talking with Reverend Jane Burnett on the Saturday call yesterday, the Saturday discussion call that happens on the Telebridge every Saturday at 11 o'clock. And she knows of a woman named Cheryl Salem, and I know of her now too. Cheryl Salem was Miss America in 1968. And the amazing thing is that when she was 11 years old, she was in a critical car accident. And several of her family members were injured in such a way that the injuries carried with them moving forward into their lives. And as an 11-year-old girl, she had to have one of the surgeries where they put her leg back together with pins. And she had like 32 pins and little rods and stuff in her leg to get her leg put back together. And then when she was 17, she went to someone who was telling her that healing was possible, and there was going to be this healer type. It was very, very much like what I experienced when my family took me to Catherine Kuhlman. It was huge. Thousands of people came to see this renowned healer, and my grandmother and I went. This is very, very much like that. And the healer, I don't remember the guy's name for Cheryl, but her family learned that he was coming like 3 weeks in advance. And at 17, Cheryl Salem like sequestered herself and took the Bible and would allow herself to read only the healing stories of the Bible for 3 weeks. She poured through them every day and read them over and over and over again, so that she developed around herself a field of healing energy. And then she went and she saw this man who was known to be a physical healer with thousands of people. And it's not like he didn't work with her individually. She was in this room with these people, and it was full. And so she couldn't stand. So she sat on the ground. She sat on a cement floor and was listening to this man. And the story goes, she literally watched her leg extend, because she had lost 2 inches of her leg, and she watched her leg extend by 2 inches, and she was wearing a pair of slacks that had been hemmed up. All of her clothes had been hemmed up for this loss of this 2 inches, and sure enough, her leg extended. She got up, she could walk balanced, and there her pant leg is hanging. So it's kind of like the proof to the people that were looking at her that she had had this healing. And thusly, so that happened when she was 17. I don't know what year it was, but within like 3-4 years after that, she became Miss America. And one of the things that is so phenomenal about this is that, I mean, that's verifiable, and there's a YouTube video. And for those of you who would like to touch in a little bit more to this, I'm going to use this for our first Wednesday spiritual connection. This coming Wednesday, the first Wednesday of April, we had already planned to do stories of divine assistance, because that really creates an incredible field. You all have some lovely, lovely stories of divine assistance, and I'm going to show this video for that. So if you would like to plan on being there. In closing this week, I encourage you to consider what areas of your life you would like to be experiencing more good. What areas of your life would you like to feel like you're blossoming, regardless of whether or not the conditions are what you would prefer or perfect, what have you, And it could be an area where you would like healing. It could be finances. It could be relationships. Whatever it is, check in with your willingness to surround yourself and immerse yourself with the atmosphere that matches that feeling, such as she sequestered herself and would only consider healing stuff for those weeks before that man got there. And if it's finances, find ways to surround yourself by people and circumstances where money is no object. Really get into what is that atmosphere that totally frees up my belief about this. And all of that we now take into closing prayer. And I simply say, as this is on the leading edge of what is good, thank you, thank you, thank you, presence of life, for the gift of life, for the gift of breath, for the gift of this opportunity that we have to receive this together and lift each other up. We lift this community up as a whole. Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter is an entity of God in itself, made up of each of us, and within each of us, everything is being uplifted. As I speak, I know and declare right here and right now that any desire for greater good is being received by the law, and I hear the internal place of the Most High saying, yes, I'll take more good here, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for all of this and more. I release it, I let it be, and so it is.
Thank you for that. So now's the time for the giving of our gifts. As always, we thank you for all the ways that you give to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. The ways to give are in the chat and also on the slide, along with our snail mail address of LCSL P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. Now please join me in affirming today's affirmation. As an expression of divine spirit, I am limitless. I can be, do, and have anything I align with in my highest good. This is true of me. I know this is true for all. Now I pass to Vicky for the offering. Blessing of the offering.
And being in one of those spaces where it's all been said and the feeling is already potent, there need be nothing more said other than thank you to each one of you for your time, talents, and treasures. Thank you, God, for this little basket that is our pivot point of the space of First Cause, where there is no separation from our good as the individuals that make up this community, and for the community of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter as an entity. With love and the highest possible regard, I release it, I let it be, and so it is.
And now it's time for our announcements. The first Wednesday Spiritual Connection is this Wednesday, April 2nd, from 7 to 8:15 p.m. on this Zoom link. Come and share your stories of divine assistance. And next week, our speaker is our own Reverend Vicky, enriching our soil of possibility. And we're at the financial freedom class is here. The 8-week class on Wednesdays from May 7th to June 25th from 7 to 9. That is facilitated by Reverend Vicky and assisted by Katrina.
Yeah. Before we switch to the next announcement, I am excited about this. I know Katrina is excited about this. We have been waiting to get this material for a while. This class was created decades ago by a lovely, powerful metaphysical couple, Lloyd Strom, and I don't remember her name right now, but it was a married couple that developed this. And for those of you who remember when Reverend Tony LaMotta came and did the Fear to Faith exercise with us, this is the class that has the original Fear to Faith material in it. And this is no longer a certified class for science or for Centers for Spiritual Living, so there is no $40 registration fee. And that means that we are requesting that you're able to donate something if you attend this class, but if you can attend $5, that'll be just fine. I would like to see everyone take this course if you can, because it will have the potential to absolutely change your relationship to financial abundance and everything else as well. It's all energy. And when we change our deeply held seated beliefs about it, then our experiences change. And so there is no required fee. It's a love offering requested of up to $100. But as I was saying, if you can do $5, that's just fine. You plan on taking this course and we will see you there. Anyone who's interested in taking this course, please do let me know because it's going to be helpful to me in developing the material. Go ahead.
Okay, and as we are growing and blossoming, be sure to show us your growing and blossoming LCSL plants during share time. You can also send Vicky a picture and she'll share it too. And here's a committed giving update from our board president, Joan Durbin.
Good morning, beautiful ladies, beautiful gentlemen. It's so good to see all of you all. Every one of you is such a treasure for me. I want to give you a little bit of a financial report, but first I want to tell you how much Reverend Vicky and I and the board, we all appreciate you all so much and everything you do, not just about tithing. So the committed giving fund, we did send that out per email, and only about 6 of us responded. So we will take that into consideration and see what we can do with that information. I hope you all can hear me. I'm outside. The birds are competing with me. I hope you can. Let's see. In February, this last month, 2025, we were down some in our income. So Reverend Vicky and I on the board, we had to take out $900 in our savings to pay all our expenses. And we're trying to keep you all updated on our income and expenses. The weekly update, if you scroll down to the bottom of that, then you can get what our income is, our expenses, and also our savings, what's in that. Some really good news. You all know I tell all my children and all my family, money is one of my best friends because we hang out with it all the time. It goes with us everywhere. It's a marvelous energy. And this past week, we did receive $460 for a piano and some other music equipment that was owed to Louisville Center past couple of years. So that is a wonderful, wonderful thing to tell you all. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. And it's a meal team for a local Louisville community family. I don't know, Vicki, if you wanted to say more about that.
The first time that I announced this was last week, so I just want to make sure that, because not everyone can come every week. If you live in the Louisville or Jeffersonville area and you have the resourcing and would like to actually do something that's going to help somebody, this family, it's Debbie Taylor, and she's been part of our community actually for years. I was originally introduced to Debbie by Reverend Carolyn. Reverend Carolyn went out in the world and did a public event one time, and Debbie Taylor came up to her and said, "Oh yes, show me more of that, please." And Reverend Carolyn introduced her to me, and so she has been with us. We don't see her real often, but she crushed her leg. She fell and really crushed one leg, and she's not going to be able to put weight on it for about 4 months. So if any of you would like to occasionally make like a one-pot meal or salad or whatever it might be, I can help you know how to get it to them, and I know that they would greatly appreciate it.
It's a wonderful act of service. So please make sure you stay and join us for sharing time after the benediction. And please always remember and don't ever forget that you are magnificent. Now join us for a closing song, The Receiving Chant by Karen Drucker.
To know and then declare it to be so with an open mind and just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind and just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I will receive. I just have to know. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. With an open mind. Just a little bit of time. Just a little bit of time now. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe. I will receive. I just have to know. And then declare it to be so with an open mind. And just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good. just have to know, and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it is mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know, and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it is mine. Anything I want, it is mine. Anything I want, it is mine. Perfect health, it is mine. Perfect health, it is mine. Joy and peace, yeah, it is mine. Joy and peace, it is mine. Love, 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 it is mine. Love, 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 it is mine. If it serves my highest good, it is mine. If it serves my highest good, it is mine. If it serves my highest good, it is mine.
And I invite you to say with me our benediction of service. Divine Spirit, I own the truth of who I am, an expression of pure spirit. The divine wrote my story before I was born and cast me into its great production of a wondrous life made real. I'm on this journey with everyone, for we are all made in the image and likeness of God. It is an all-star cast. Thank you, God, forever. Amen.